Riv, I want to welcome Shorter Race and Pobelter from Winterfox to the desk after a pretty decisive victory there against Gravity. Pobelter, I want to go to you first. You guys had to bring in a few subs, one of which is Shorter Race. What was that like in terms of having, very little time to prepare and strategize for this game?
It was all really rushed. Our owner, Brian Cordry, had some subs on the roster, so we had flares in Short Race. And I have no idea what these players were like before ever playing with them, and our first scrims were 2 days ago. But, it worked out really well. They both played really well, and so I think they should be really happy about how they played. And
Shorter Race, I got to speak to you at the LCS expansion tournament where you narrowly missed qualifying yourself to the LCS, but now you've had your opportunity. You're on the LCS stage. How does that feel?
It feels great. I'm just so happy to be here.
And so, as Pobelter said, he didn't really know too much about your play style as a sub on the roster. Did you feel the same way going in, that you guys really had to kind of beef up your synergy within such a short amount of time?
Honestly, though, he's just really easy to play with. His level of communication is really easy for me to follow, and we did well together, in a few days.
On the topic of communication, Pobelter, I want to jump back over to you. With Helios on the team, I know the two of you probably bounce back and forth the most in terms of the shot calling, but he was out this week, so did you have to kind of take the brunt of the work there, or was that passed on to somebody else?
I feel like I did not talk that much that game. I think it was mainly Altec and Glebe deciding what to do around the map, but I think most of the movements we made were pretty basic, so I don't think there was anything really difficult required.
Altec and Glebe, there had to be a little bit of comfort knowing that those two were an old duo from back in the day on Cloud9 Tempest, I imagine, right?
Yeah.
Now, I want to go into the picks and bans a little bit. We saw Renekton come out in the top lane. We saw Rengar, Annie, Fizz. You guys were looking to dive with the Sivir ultimate and just go. Was that in reaction to what you were seeing set up in terms of Janna, Azir setting up kind of that disengage poke comp?
It was just, we got the Sivir early on, and so we just worked around picks that we thought would fit well with it. So the Renekton hasn't been seen that much lately, but we just needed something beefy up front to sort of take in damage as we all rush into them. And so that's just kind of how it ended up, that we had a divey sort of team comp, and they had a sort of disengaged team comp.
And Shorter Race, I want to, specifically the early game, I saw what seemed to be very calculated, so I want to know if this was the plan from level 1, in which you and Annie were double jungling in the tops, or I guess in the blue side jungle of Gravity, and then you made that roam to the mid lane to blow the early flash on Azir. Was that something that you guys had said from the get-go, or was that more opportunistic? You just noticed he was pushed up and let's capitalize on that?
We kind of just did that because it was a really good opportunity because they lane swapped, and we were just walking around their jungle, and he was really pushed up, so it was kind of easier. And
then I imagined you guys came back, you capitalized on that within the next couple minutes. That started that Fizz snowball. You were 1 kill up, pretty sizable amount of CS at that point. Does that give you the confidence, Pobelter, to say, I'm going to run over this game now? I'm okay with being this dive, comp and going, 2 turrets deep to get the kills?
Yeah, even that early on, getting 1 kill, and then that's just such a huge, I don't know what to say, a huge lead. Mm-hmm. It's really hard to lose at that point because you're up 1 kill. I was running MR runes, so Azir was weaker against me, and I was continually freezing the lane. So Azir had to play really cautiously. He couldn't do anything but clear the wave and then run away because he was going to get ganked again.
Well, you say it's not hard to lose, but we've actually seen 2 teams today that were up in objectives in terms of Dragons and Barons that were really doing a great job of controlling those 2 objectives, but then didn't manage to secure the victory. You guys, though, seem to have broken that trend. You managed to get 4 Dragons, a Baron on top of that. You also had the gold lead. So what do you feel like, Shorter Race, that you guys did differently from the previous teams that we've seen collapse after having those leads?
We just took a lot of vision control. Me and Glebe would always roam together. We got a lot of vision in their jungle and made decisions off that. If they made a mistake going to a different lane, we could just go to the other side, and yeah.
Well, you definitely had the mobility, to out-rotate and things like that. Pobelter, I do want to jump into a replay. We're going to go 17.5 minutes in. It's in the bot lane. It's a pretty chaotic fight where Glebe kind of seems to be going crazy for a moment, getting a pick on Corki all by himself.
I'm going to have to look over there because my screen is
Oh, that's no worries. That's fine. As long as you can still see it, though, yep?
Yeah.
So I want you to talk me through this because it seems like you guys salvage what looks to be not a great play into something pretty fantastic.
So It looks bad. It looks bad. You know, a few of our dudes die. I'm not entirely sure what's happening right here, but I know that I come in at the end and clean up the kills.
Well, you call for the TP. Is that something then, Shorter Ace, that you guys were yelling, screaming down here for the TP?
Yeah, I remember hearing flares. We're just shouting TP.
TP, TP, TP,
Yeah,
TP.
our TP came in first, and then we're still like pretty ahead at this point, and after this, it's just a really huge lead.
Right.
I kind of messed up there by trying to go for the Corki, but
But that's what I mean, where you had the confidence to go that deep, where you're now, you know, at the inner turret by yourself while the rest of the team's dealing with Azir and things like that. So do you find that the freedom to do things like that kind of took some of the pressure off of, you know, playing in a scenario that you're not the most comfortable in? You're playing with this, you know, patchwork roster?
yeah, I think everyone is just playing confidently, aggressively. We had a lot of moments where we were over-aggressive, and then we'd like Sivir ult or Rengar ult, and nothing would come of it, or we'd like flash an Annie ult, and nothing would come of it. But I think the important thing is that we're going for these opportunities instead of thinking, oh, maybe we can't do this, and doubting ourselves and not going for it at all.
All right, I do want to jump into a second replay in Shorter Ace. I'm going to have you walk us through this one. This is 25 minutes into the game. We're going to pull it up on your screen right now. This ends up being a 4-for-1 mid. You guys have just taken the Dragon. And Jat on stream described this as a YOLO play because you come barreling in from the side here. So kind of walk me through again with the speed that you guys have and the catch potential this fight.
Well, our entire comp, we just wanted to go on Keen because he's playing Azir and that champ was really annoying. So we literally just call to go on Azir, he gets out, so we go on Bunny, we take out the rest of them because they're all zoned out. It's 45 for us. And yeah, we just kind of just clean it up and we get a lot of kills.
This is kind of a pretty chaotic fight, too. I mean, do you guys feel like you had top-notch communication in this fight, or were you just relying on instinct at that point of like, all right, we're all over the map, but I'm going to trust that Pobelter mechanically is on point and Glebe's doing his doing you know, the right thing over here?
Honestly, I was just yelling kill him, so nothing really.
He's bloodthirsty. Kill who? Kill him,
Kill
get him,
him
get him,
all.
get him. How much practice would you guys say you did have, Pobelter?
We had 2 days of scrims. We had, I want to say like 8 hours total, maybe. 8
Wow.
or 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that has to be a huge boon to confidence, too, going into tomorrow's matchup. And I kind of want to parlay the question here into, you're going to be playing Coast tomorrow, which has to feel good because you guys you're familiar. Shorter Ace, yeah, exactly. You and Glebe, right? Some of your subs are actually very familiar with the players that you guys happen to be matched up against this week. So that's got to feel good. Along with the win here, are you guys confident that tomorrow is your game?
Yeah, I expected Gravity to be the tougher matchup coming into this weekend, but actually Coast gave Dignitas a run for their money, so it might actually be the other way around. But I'm pretty confident going into the matches, and I know Ryan wants to avenge himself because his team got knocked out by Coast in the expansion tournament.
Yeah, looking for blood, Shorter Ace?
I'm looking for blood.
I like it. Kill him. Kill him, kill him, kill him, right?
Kill him.
We'll be hopefully listening to the comms tomorrow, or maybe we got some clips from that game too we can pull up with the screaming. Well, I want to congratulate you guys on your victory. It was outstanding and very fun to watch. Coming up after the break, though, Team Impulse will look to make a name for themselves when they take on Team Liquid, so don't go anywhere. Congratulations.
This season, we've already seen some great plays today, and we're only gonna see more. And they still turned it around here with Saint, though. One last hit. Oh my gosh, they're picking up kills here with slivers of health, and Pobelter's about to have a heyday. Glebe went way too far. The rest of the team. What? Ultec coming out huge on this one, as well as Glebe. They focus down. Sundis goes down to the turret. Glebe tries to flash in with the Tibbers ultimate, finally gets it down there, and it is just such a back and forth ping pong fight. That's in the eyes of Winterfox. One final fight to bring them to their knees, and Gravity is now running for the fountain. Winterfox is on the Nexus. They're gonna find their first win in the spring split here in North America.